Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us today. My name is Greg Lewis. I'm the marketing manager for MetaStock, and today our live presentation is our very own Kelly Clement. I usually remember that name easier since he's my boss and president of the company. Kelly Clement will be presenting everything new and great about MetaStock 19, and we'll be doing that in just 6 minutes. But first, let's watch this cool video.
Hi, my name's Kelly Clement, and I am the president here at MetaStock. You know, one of the biggest questions I get asked is, what is MetaStock, and how can it help me in my trading? Well, if you give me about 3 minutes of your time, I can show you. MetaStock is an award-winning software and data package that has been helping traders for over 40 years. Simply put, MetaStock is a tool for traders like you to analyze the markets. MetaStock works across all asset classes, including stocks, futures, forex, options, crypto, and more. MetaStock is designed to help you take the guesswork out of trading by offering a methodical, systematic approach to some key questions all traders come up against. Questions like, how do I decide which securities to trade when there are literally thousands to choose from? Which strategies should I use, and how do I test that strategy before spending my first trading dollar? When should I enter and exit a trade? How can I effectively manage the securities I'm interested in? What are the best options to trade? And of course, how do I know where prices will go next? At the core of MetaStock are its power tools. The power tools are designed to give professional-grade analysis tools to private traders. You can scan the market with the MetaStock Explorer to filter and sort securities that show buy and sell signals based on your criteria. The MetaStock System Tester lets you test most strategies through a process called backtesting. This allows you to see how your strategy would have performed over time. One of MetaStock's most powerful tools is its charts. MetaStock allows you to navigate through your charts through browser-like tabs, arrange them in ways that you see fit, or group them in layout windows that allow you to quickly access your groups of charts. And then with the MetaStock Forecaster, you can even take advantage of patented technology to view probable future prices. If you're an options trader, well, you're going to love OptionScope. OptionScope puts all the critical information at your fingertips, displaying sortable, customizable, color-coded options data, even including the Greeks. You can then take this data and analyze your options with the built-in strategies with risk-reward graphs. And MetaStock has solutions for traders of all levels and interests. If you're just getting into trading, you'll appreciate the education offered by our many built-in systems. In addition to pointing out buy and sell signals, MetaStock explains how they work in an easy-to-follow commentary window. MetaStock has systems based off of popular strategies, things like MACD, Bollinger Bands, turtle trading, candle patterns, and many more. MetaStock even has the very popular and exclusive Rahul Mohindar oscillator system, or simply known as the RMO. As you become a more experienced trader, MetaStock grows with you. Advanced analysts will enjoy the comprehensive list of trading systems and indicators and the ability to create, build, and test their own systems. And if you're a day trader, you can't do better than Zenith, the real-time news, data, and analysis package powered by LSEG, a world leader in market data. Zenith is a comprehensive and flexible system with an extremely powerful search tool, which includes fundamental and economic data. Add on our world-class support, and it's not hard to see why MetaStock has won the Stocks and Commodities Reader's Choice Award for 35 consecutive years. To find out more about MetaStock and how it can help you in your trading, visit metastock.com or contact a product professional via phone, email, or chat.
All right, thanks so much for watching that. Again, my name is Greg Lewis. We've got about 1 minute and 48 seconds to go before our presentation starts with the president of MetaStock, one Kelly Clement. Again, he will be talking about the latest, greatest MetaStock 19 and his favorite features and benefits of it. A couple things. We would love it if you would like and subscribe this video. It helps us and it helps you because then you'll be notified every time we have a live presentation like today's. We usually have them a couple times a week, so it's definitely worth your time to do that. Also, if you have questions, go ahead. Oops, sorry about that. If you have questions, go ahead and ask. I will. Well, Kelly is monitoring both here on YouTube and GoToWebinar, so he'll see your questions and respond to them, I promise. Also, we asked, this is casual. Comment as much as you like, ask as many questions as you'd like, really anything you'd like. We just ask that you be respectful and nice to the presenter and also to your co-watchers. And finally, how much time do I got left? We do have a special summer sale going on right now because what's summer without a great sale event? Go to metastock.com/sizzle, SIZZLE, metastock.com/sizzle. It only goes until Friday, and it offers a great deal on Vora Victory as well as MetaStock, or an upgrade to MetaStock if you don't yet have it. All right, we've got about 25 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and let you listen to some jazzy music while I make sure Kelly's good to go. Thank you so much and successful trading.
Hey everyone, Kelly Clement here from MetaStock. I am excited today to be able to spend some time with you and talk to you about MetaStock 19. Hopefully you have had the chance to see MetaStock 19 already, but if you haven't, I am so glad you're here. Now, some of the things that we're going to be talking about today are the new features that are included in MetaStock 19, but also some of the pretty cool things that you can do with MetaStock. So this is kind of a little bit of a combo webinar here. Now, one of the things I always like to say at the beginning of a webinar is if you have questions, please ask them. That's why you're here. You're here to learn, understand. If you have MetaStock 19, maybe you're already doing some things and you'd like to know how to do them a little better in MetaStock 19, happy to show that to you. If you don't have MetaStock 19, glad to show it to you. So let's go ahead and jump into the presentation here. The first thing I'm going to do, as you know, in a MetaStock webinar, we're going to read you a disclaimer. So that's where we're going to start. So this presentation is designed to instruct you on using MetaStock and accompanying software plugins and is not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using the specific indicators and features within the software. The information software techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. MetaStock and its employees shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of their software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. MetaStock and its employees did not endorse the purchase of any security, nor are they paid for the promotion of any security. No information contained in this presentation should be construed as an investment advice or solicitation to buy any security. So no buy and sell recommendations here. Don't buy anything based off of what we say. It's not why we're here. We're here to show you MetaStock and how it works. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump in. So what we're going to be talking about today, again, are all the main features in MetaStock 19. Now, MetaStock 19 has been in the works for a long time. If you've been using MetaStock a long time, you'll know in MetaStock 19 that it is vastly, it's had some huge updates that people have been asking for a long time. So we're going to talk about those and walk you through those and how they will help you in your everyday use of MetaStock. So we're going to be talking about theme support, charting workflows, layout workflows, the new container that has a very modern look and feel to it, new charting styles, new drawing tools, and some new trading systems. So we have a lot to cover. Let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing that people have been asking for a long time is theme support. So that's the ability to run MetaStock either in light mode or in dark mode. So we're not going to go into MetaStock and show you this. I just want to show you this first screenshot here. but now you can run MetaStock in dark mode if you want to. You've always been able to do the dark background on your charts, but now to make the whole container in a dark mode is very, very nice. So you've got this opportunity now to make it in light mode or dark mode. And you'll see right up here, you have this option in MetaStock that says theme. Just do that drop down. It'll let you choose which theme you want and then select between it. Now we'll talk about the difference between container theme and chart theme here in just a little bit, but the entire container now can be light mode or dark mode. Here's where we're going to be spending quite a bit of time in charting workflows. Now charting obviously is a big part of MetaStock. That's what it is. It's a charting program. And we want easy ways to navigate charts and move through charts. So we're going to spend some time talking about how we've improved these workflows to make it easier for you to get through your charts. Now, if we look at this, at the PowerPoint here, you can see a few bullet points. One is tab charting. Now, tab charting is a lot like a browser where you can actually just click between the different tabs that you have open and see. You can see this little graphic I have going here that you can have different tabs open. I'm going to go into MetaStock. We're going to show you this in just a moment. But you have the ability to pin charts, drop access to all charts. I'll show you that. Drag and drop, floating charts outside the container, and then making new vertical groups and horizontal groups. And you still have your old classic modes where you can arrange them in different ways as well. So let's jump over to MetaStock and let's look at it here. So let me go over to MetaStock. Okay, so I have MetaStock open. I'm actually going to close this chart. You can see I am in dark mode right now. I've selected the theme right here, and I'm in MetaStock Dark. So that's the theme I am in right now. I'm a big fan of dark mode. I really like using apps and programs in dark mode, so that's my preferred theme. So what I do here is we're just going to open the Power Console, and I'm going to open 5-6 charts just so I can show you this. Now I can open charts here from the instrument, or I could go down and select them from the tree view. But let's just type in a few charts here. We'll open Tesla, Meta, NVIDIA, AMD, and GM and Ford. So those are the charts I'm going to open. I'll just do my smart charts here, select it, and I am in tabbed mode. So it's going to default to opening those charts. Now I can tell I'm in tabbed mode because I've got the tabbed mode view right here. So you can see that selected. Now these are the old classic modes in MetaStock where you could cascade, tile, all that. That's still available. You can still do that. But here you can see I am now in tabs. So this looks a lot like a browser where I can just click through and select my different charts to view them. So that way it's easier to navigate and get to the data that you want to. Now, once you have your charts open, you may have 30 charts open or 5 charts open, whatever it may be. But it's easy to just move through them like I've said. Now, if you have a lot of charts open, you may want to say, well, what charts do I have open? Well, you can click this little drop down over here, and it'll show you your whole list of stocks, and it'll even update as you're selecting it. So if I selected GM, it would actually just move right over to it. So if I selected Meta, it would move right over to it. So it's very easy to get to what you want. Now, if I have an important chart to me, so if I'm going through my list of charts, I'm like, wow, that one's really interesting. I'm kind of into that one. You can click this pin mode. So if I clicked pin, it moves that one to the front of the list and will keep it there until I unpin it. So it'll be at the front of all my open charts. If I come over here and I say, okay, I want to pin AMD, you'll see it moves it over here. Okay, so then I can unpin them by just clicking on that pin, and that'll take it out of the front. I can also drag and drop and move these around. If I want it over here, I can just drag and drop it, move it around. So the whole aspect is, like I said, it's a lot like a browser. So if you're used to using Chrome or Edge, anything that has tabs, you're going to be set in MetaStock 19, and you're going to have that ability. So it's very, very easy to navigate and do and move your charts around in MetaStock 19. Now, one of the things that I really like is the ability now to kind of set up groups. So what I mean by that is I can now take this and I can drag it out. And first of all, now that's a floating chart. So if you have multiple monitors, I could take that one off to my other monitor, And you couldn't do that before in MetaStock. So that's been a big, huge feature request from our clients, is to say, hey, I want to be able to drag charts out. Now you can do that when you're in tabbed mode. But you also notice when I'm have this chart floating, I've got these boxes that show up on the screen. So you can see right here, I've got these boxes. Now, what that means is if I drag it right there or put it right there, it's going to make a separator for me. So if I click that, you'll see now I've got a separator. GM's over here, but all my other charts are still tabbed over here. So I can now take this and make it very responsive and kind of size it the way that I want. So if I want GM always open and kind of focused, I can do that. I'm just zooming in. So I've got GM set up over here, all my others over here. Now, if I say, well, Ford's an automotive, I want it over there with GM, I can right click on it and I can say, let's move this over to that group and just drag and drop it in. And you can see now I have GM and Ford over here. Okay, so it's really, really easy to do that. And then I could say, well, I want to close all this. So you have a lot of options with right clicking on tabs and doing this. So if I were to come down here and say new horizontal tab group, it would just make one automatically for me. So that's just split it up. So it's really easy to kind of get around these tabs and move through them and do all these different things. It's easy stuff. I love it. It makes MetaStock so much better, so much easier to navigate on a day-to-day basis and get through. I'm just going to close out all these charts that we've got open, and we'll just look at these three. Okay, so you can see it makes it really easy to set up your views and go through. Now, the reason why I'm going to leave, actually, I'm going to close these. I'm going to have AMD open, and I'm going to open NVIDIA and say IBM. And we'll talk about why I'm doing that here in just a second. Now, before I move on, I just want to show you the old classic mode. So if I click on auto tile, this will auto tile my charts. I can cascade them. I can arrange them. So there's lots of ways that you can arrange these. And so whatever your preference is, you're set up. You're good to go. Okay, let's go back to the PowerPoint here for just a moment. You can see we've gone through all this, how to set this up. Now, one thing that's really, really cool that we've done with MetaStock 19 is improved the workflow layout. Well, what's a layout? A layout is a collection of stocks, futures, different time frames, a bunch of different things that you can do. So we're going to spend some time showing you things that you can do with layouts and how it'll improve your day-to-day workflow in making charts. So let's go back to MetaStock here for just a moment. And I want to make a layout. So I'm just going to actually close all these. And what I'm going to do is up here in the top right-hand corner, you'll see where it says this word main. Now, main is MetaStock. It's what you open every day. It's what's going to open, you do your main charts. But if you want to save things as a group of charts and open them up quickly, you're going to create a layout. So let's give you an example of that. So I'm going to hit this plus sign right here. And it's going to open up, basically, you'll see another instance of MetaStock. But this one says layout 1 on it, or layout 2, or layout 3, depending on how many layouts you've opened. I'm going to maximize this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a layout that has a group of stocks. And what I'm going to do is open up the market ETFs. So I'm going to say DIA, SPY, QQQ.O, and IWM. Okay, so those are the 4 market ETFs I want as part of my layout. So I'm going to open my chart. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the tab mode to arrange these in a way that I want to save them. Okay. What I'll do here is I want the SPY to be my major. So I'm going to right click on this and I'm going to say new vertical tab group. So you can see I've got the SPY over here, and over here I've got the Dow, the Qs, and IWM. Now I'm just going to drag these so I can see all 3 of them. Okay, let's put this one right here. All right, and then I'm just going to zoom this in a little bit, use my slider here, zoom in. Do the same thing here. Just zoom in a little bit. Click the plus sign and zoom in a little bit, just so I can see a closer view. Okay, so this is my market digest, basically, my market ETF. So I want to save this so I can quickly reference it. All I have to do is click File, go to Save As, and now what I can do is name this layout. So I'll just call this Market ETF Kelly, just so this is a shared computer so people know what it is here. So I'll click Save. And you can see this named it now Kelly Market ETF. Now, right now, I can take this and put it over on another screen. I can have as many layouts open as I want to, and I can work with this. But let's say I close this. Let me just close it here. Did I change something? Oh, yeah. So I'll just save the changes to that. And now it's closed, but my main MetaStock window is still open. Now that I've created that, I can click this down arrow and click Market ETF Kelly and just reopen it, and it'll just come back and be what I just saved. So it's an easy way for you to open up groups of securities. Now I want to show you another workflow of that. So I've got my market ETFs, great. But let's show you another workflow that we can do with this. So let me close this. Okay, and we're going to open up, this time, let's say I want to open up the E-mini. I'm going to open up the E-mini, click Open Chart. And this time what I want to do is I want to have the E-mini open with multiple time frames. Sorry, I realized I didn't have my chat open to see questions. So let me, just opening my chat. So make sure you're asking questions if you have them. I'd love to answer any questions about these different workflows as I'm going through them. So what I'm going to do now with the E-mini is I want multiple time frames. So I want to look at it in a daily, a 1 minute, a 5 minute, a 30 minute. So I want these different time frames set up. So I'm going to duplicate the same chart. I'm going to go to Window, New Window, which basically duplicates the open chart. Window, New Window, and then Window, New Window. So I want 4 time frames. I'm going to do exactly what I did before and just create this as a layout where I can see one time frame big and the other time frames smaller. Okay, let's go ahead and let's take this one and go over here and make it smaller. Drag and drop, and then drag and drop one more time. And you can customize this again however you like. So if you want this, you can see, again, it's very responsive to your sizing and setting it up the way that you want. So if you want them really tiny on the other time frames, but let's say I want this one as my 5 minute chart. I want this one as my daily, so I can see a D there, so it's already daily. Let's take this one down to my 30 minute, and this one to my 60 minute. Okay. So I've got all my time frames set up. Now I can just go File, Save As, and we'll just call this E-mini. Okay. Save that, and now you can see I've got a E-mini layout saved. Now I saved this this time I was in main when I saved it. So if I go File, Close All, yep. Oh, no, I don't need to save that one. Apologies. I think I messed up. I don't think I saved it correctly. So let's see if I did. And guess what? It's okay. Nope, it's right there. So we'll go ahead and open up my E-mini, and then it'll pop open and be just what I created for my E-mini. And then I can bounce through them. Okay, now some of the things that are really cool, once you have this type of setup ready to go, you can actually change charts in this layout and get to other layouts very, very quickly. So if I come down here to this little hamburger menu where you choose Instrument, come over to Options, and then say Use Chart as Template, and change all charts in the layout, I can now change it to something else. Let's say I wanted to go to the Dow Mini instead of the instead of the S&P mini. I can click that, and you'll notice that every one of my charts in that layout changes and goes to all the time frames that I've set up and everything. So it's all just cycle through. So I can go through lists of securities that way. So for example, if I had the Dow 30 and I wanted to cycle through it in multiple time frames, I can do that. So it makes it really, really easy to go through and bounce through and look at your different time frames and get all that data. So layouts, tab charting, all very cool stuff in MetaStock 19. If we go back to our PowerPoint here, so we've talked about layouts can function as independent windows, a multi-monitor support, so you can have layouts across multiple windows. The much simpler process for creating layouts. If you've ever created a layout in an older version of MetaStock, you understand that pain. It's very easy now, just file, save as. It's saving your group of securities all together. Multi-chart views, multi-time frame views, navigation between the main window and layout windows, and then quick selection for moving between layouts. Just that drop down, move between them. Really, really easy stuff to do. I love the new layouts. I love being able to just save groups of things and open it. I'll keep one that's open positions, so I can just pop that open and look at all my open positions. It's really cool stuff. I love the new workflows in MetaStock 19. I hope you do too. But let's go ahead and keep talking about some of the other new features. This one's awesome, Restore Workspace. What this does is, at the end of the day, let's say you have 10 layouts open. If you just go to Main and click Close that main window, MetaStock will shut down, automatically save everything for you, and the next time you open it, it will just restore right back to where you were when you finished working with MetaStock last time. It makes it very easy to just say, I'm done for the day, close, it'll save it all, come back the next day, open it up, it'll just restore right back to where you were. Very easy workflow. We're not going to do that because you can see the graphic here, but that's a great way to do that. Okay, now some of the other things that we've done in MetaStock. With MetaStock 19, some of the things that we've done is made everything easier, more intuitive, faster to get to. And that was a big goal with MetaStock 19, is ease of use, better workflows, and better ways to find the information that you need to be able to chart and trade faster. So one of those is easier indicator searching. Before in MetaStock, you had these two different lists going on. You had a lot of information. And what we've done here is we've made it very easy to find indicators now by one, just making a full alphabetical list, and then two, making searching easier. So what it'll do now when you search, let's open up a chart so we can search here. Okay, so you notice up here when I open up a chart, I have my indicator drop-down list here. So if I click on the down arrow, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. Hey, you guys are lucky I got to the mute button fast enough. That's what I'll say. All right. So when you click on this, you'll notice it highlights orange. When you do that, you can now type and search. So if I type MACD, it's actually doing two types of searches at once. One's called filter, one's called incremental. So what we're doing is we're narrowing down there a list of everything that says MACD in it. So you can see everything that has MACD, and then also exact searching. So you can see I have MACD right there, but also everything that contains MACD. So what I can do now is just grab the one that I want, bring it over, put it on my chart. You can see it's much easier there to find things. So if I were to type RSI, okay, so there's, say I want the stochastic RSI, just drag and drop again, plop on the chart. So you can see it's way easier to just click, type what you're looking for, narrow down and search and identify. And some of these, I mean, we can just go through them very, very quickly because they're so easy to find and identify. Indicator editor. If you write your own indicators, which I know a lot of MetaStock users do. If you don't, that's okay too. This one's for those people who do write code. some of the things here that we've done is we've added a line count. So let's go in and let's do the indicator builder. So we just click on the indicator builder here, that little FX, click new. Let's actually maybe edit an indicator so you can see what we're doing. So if I just click edit, you can see I have a whole number row list. If I have an error in that list, so I'll just write blah in there, and I try and hit OK. It's going to say, hey, you have something that's wrong. And then it'll tell me, hey, you've got an issue on line 19. So I can just go to line 19, and it'll put my cursor right where the issue is. I can just delete that out and then click OK. And if my formula is correct, it'll send me on my way. So it makes it easier to identify those errors in your code as you're writing it down. It's going to say, hey, you've got an issue here. Here's where it is. Take you right to it. So if you write code, awesome little update. Toolbar changes. You can now make your buttons here large. If I right click anywhere on any toolbar, if I go to customize, go to options, and I can just click large icons and large icons in the menu. And you can see all my buttons are large. Where this is kind of a benefit, one, if you like larger buttons, you have that option now. And then two, if you're using MetaStock, like say on a Windows or a touch screen laptop, you can use it to click the buttons and get to them a little bit easier. So that's been a request from customers as well. We'll go ahead and go back to normal there. You can turn off tooltips if you don't like tooltips. All the icon buttons here have been redesigned for easier readability, kind of tell you a little bit better what they do. So that's all been updated. You can see all the icons have been updated. So all that's been refreshed and updated as well. Expert advisor search. This is something that's never existed that people have asked for. So if I right click, go to expert attach, you now have a search box to actually look for the expert that you're looking for. And same thing, so it'll do incremental and exact match. If I type in MACD, get my MACD by MetaStock, click attach, and it's easier to just find instead of having to scroll, or if you type the first button and kind of go through it and look through it, way easier to just search. So one of the I just got to say over and over again, how much easier MetaStock 19 is. When I have to go back and do something in an old version of MetaStock, I just go, wow, it's just so much better in MetaStock 19. It's so much better. Expert commentary enhancements. So this one, again, if you use the expert advisor and you use the commentary, this is so much better living with this than it did in MetaStock 18 and previous. So if I go right click expert commentary, now the way it defaults is actually typically to just be floating here in the middle or somewhere off to the side. So this is the way it usually looks. Now, one of the challenges that you may have had in an older version of MetaStock, excuse me, was that you couldn't really tell the commentary window where you wanted it to go. Now, this works a lot like the docked charting that we talked about earlier, where I can take it and you get these same boxes that show up on the right and left and bottom and top, where I can say, I want it right here. Now, once it's docked, it's very responsive, so I can just go right here and I can resize it to whatever size I want and just put it there. Now, I like the expert commentary, but I don't always want it on the screen, and I want to get back to it easier. So what we did is we implemented this, what we call flyout mode. If I right click up here and go to auto hide, what this will do is it'll put it up here in the corner. So you can see the word commentary window up there. Now, if I click on commentary window, you see it just flies out. I can look at it, review it, and then I can just come back over here, click on my chart, and it just goes away. So it makes it really, really easy to just get to. Now, if you're looking at it like, okay, I'd like it to stay there for just a minute so I can review this, just click on it and it won't disappear. It'll stay there because you've highlighted it. Now, all I have to do to unselect it is just click on the chart and it'll go away. If I want to bring it back full time, just right click on it, click dock, and it'll go right back to being docked. So making your life easier using the expert advisor and the expert commentary. Love this update and having it so it's set up right there. Okay. Now, one of the things that you can do as well, and one of the other requests that we had was making the data window easier to use. So if I grab the data window, let's go over here to the data window and bring that on, you can see it's in that same mode. Okay, so if I bring it out and I have it set right there, well, now it's just highlighting and moving across. If I bring it back over here, I can dock this wherever I want. So if I want it docked next to the commentary window, and you see everything resizes automatically. So it's all set right inside of MetaStock and divided up just how I want it. And I can resize it if I want that smaller. If I want this to go back into auto hide mode, I don't need it all the time. You can really customize it however you want. So these enhancements to this make your life so much easier. Now, one other change we made with the data window, let's dock this for just a moment. Dock. Okay, so we've got it docked. Now, people have asked for the data window to match the color of the chart, so it kind of blends together. So you can see I've got the data window open and it matches my color. If I come down here and I change this to bright spark, you can see that my data window color will change and match. If I change it to electric, there it go, it'll just change and match. So that makes it really easy to be able to get those to match. Let's go back to MetaStock Dark. I'll close this, and you'll notice everything again, very responsive, just goes right into fit. Okay, so that's expert commentary, data window enhancements. Quote Center and Option Scope have also both been rewritten. They're all refreshed. They all look brand new. A lot of the features in there have been improved. The flyout bar is better. You can see it's easier to access your lists. The settings is more off to the side. It's not right so in your face. And you have an improved gainers losers bar. So all that has been updated and refreshed. We're not going to spend a lot of time in Quote Center and Option Scope. We've got a lot to go through, but these are both updated, refreshed. They match the theme of MetaStock as well. So whether you're in light mode or dark mode, they will match the theme automatically as well. All right, so Power Console update. So the Power Console obviously is the heart and soul of MetaStock. It's where you go to do everything. So keeping that easy to use, refreshing it was important because we want to keep those workflows easy. Now, if we go back to the Power Console and bring it up here, you can see obviously it has been updated as well. Everything is easier to navigate. You can see you've got little arrows to kind of tell you where to go, whether you can minimize or maximize things. These little arrows will help you along the way. One of the things that's really big for me is when MetaStock first opens and comes in here, it's going to default right there. So you can just open up a chart, just start typing. You don't have to go and click into it that first time you run MetaStock. After that, it's going to know where you were. So very, very important update to that, to just be able to click. And you can see when I open Power Console, it'll default right into that box, ready for me to type my chart and open and get to my chart rather than going up there to have to click. It's the little things that make big differences. And we've learned that over the years, that these little enhancements make big changes for people. Use the theme of the container. Typing to apply a template now will also filter. So if I come in here and I type MACD, you can see it'll filter right down to where I need to be. So it makes it really easy to get to what you need there as well. Let's go back to Smart Chart. So again, all these typing, all these navigations just makes life easier. And making life easier is what we're after. Okay, now talking about making life easier, if you haven't used the custom toolbar is a great way to apply templates. My apologies, my allergies are getting me today. So what the custom toolbar is, if I come over to MetaStock, let's go over to our main window. You can see over here on my icon dialog, I have these little buttons. And you'll notice this if you have MetaStock, a previous version. You have these little buttons. And what happens is if I hover over them, it tells me what template it will apply. So if I click on, say, the RMO, let's see, which I think number 3, RMO. So if I click on RMO, it'll take that chart and apply a template to it. Okay. Now, a lot of people like to customize this so they can just click a button to a specific layout, a specific template, or a website. There's a lot you can do. So we just right click on this and go to custom toolbar properties. And you can see here, I've got some different links that have been set up here. So I've got my templates, I've got some web links. So let's show you an example. So if I click here, new, and you have all these icon selections. Now, these have all been updated, so there's new icon selections. They've all been refreshed and modernized, and you've got some new options. Let's choose our light bulb here for our idea. Now, what you can do is, let's browse for what we want to open. Let's do 2 examples. We'll do a template, and then we'll do a website. We'll just say that I want Bollinger Bands. So I select the Bollinger Bands, click open. So this is what it's going to open. This will be my screen tip when I hover over it. Now I don't have to leave the MWT on it. I can just say Bollinger Bands, click OK. And you can see my light bulb appears there with template, click OK. And now I have my template here. I just click it and it'll open up the template. The other thing you can do, like I said, is you can do websites. Now that may be, hey, I have a specific link on metastock.com I want to go to, or my broker webpage, or something like that. So if I were to just go here, if I put in my web address, we'll just put in MetaStock as the example. And then we'll put in MetaStock website. And this time I'll just use this little 3-bar MetaStock logo. Click OK. Click OK. There it is. And if I click that on my other screen, it brings up metastock.com. I think these were web links right here. So somebody put a broker website. So Robinhood, you could take it right to Robinhood login page or whatever you want. Okay, so it's really cool. It makes it easier to kind of jump in and navigate a few things and get to data or templates or layouts or anything that you want very, very quickly. Okay, let's go back to the PowerPoint here. View open windows. Okay, so this is a different way that you can view everything that's open. If I hit Control Tab, it will give me a little preview of the chart that I'm on, and then let me just jump to it. Now, this one isn't a good example because I have all the same chart open. So let's go back to our main window, and let's just open 15 stocks here. So let's go into my list. Let's go to index constituents. Let's go down to the Dow 15. Which one? Dow Transport Utilities, 15 stocks there. Okay. I'll just open up those charts. So when we open up those charts, they'll all be in tabbed mode. Now you may be in Cascade or a range or a different view. It doesn't have to be specifically tab mode to use this, because in tab mode we have the drop down option. But here we're going to have this option where we can actually select through and go through them. And I'll show you this here in just a second when these load. But it's so nice just to be able to tab through these and look at them as other charts are loading. Okay, so we've got them all open now. Well, I guess not. I guess we had one last one to go. Okay. Again, I can click on my down arrow here when I'm in tab mode. I can also cycle through my open ones here. But if I want a view, just hit Control Tab. And if I keep selecting Control Tab, it'll give me what stock I'm looking at over here and give me a little preview of it. And then I can just select it and it'll go right to it. It's quick little preview. You can also go up to Window here and go View Open Windows. It'll show you your list. Select the one you want. It'll jump right to it. Okay. Easier navigation. Again, easier navigation has just been a key critical part of MetaStock 19, getting you where you need to go faster for your charts and updating. Okay, this one's really cool. Sorting in the Explorer. Let me show you why this is cool. So let's close this. Okay, and let's just go to the main window here. I'm going to close all these charts. Okay, we're going to go up here. We're going to go to the Explorer. And we'll just choose 1 day high volume here. Well, let's actually clear out everything that's selected. Okay, so we're going to do 1 day high volume, and we'll just do the NASDAQ 100 here, or the S&P 100. Okay, when I click Start Exploration, it's going to run my scan, and this scan's just looking for the highest volume of the day. So I can rank based off of the highest volume and get a ranking of that. So if I rank here, I can see NVIDIA has the most volume of the day. Tesla has number 2, Apple number 3. Wow, that's amazing. Look how much more volume NVIDIA has over Apple. That's amazing. Okay, now I've run that scan. Now one of the things I can do is I can click in the Explorer and I can select and open charts or double click to open charts. Let's say you want to go through this list one at a time and analyze these stocks. So if I just open up NVIDIA, okay, so I've got NVIDIA open. Now remember Tesla, Apple, Amazon, AMD were the next in the list. So if I close that and I just want to go through that list now, I can come down here and my right left arrows go to next instrument. And it took me to Tesla, which is the next stock in the list. I can now go to Apple, next stock in the list. So it's going to take me through those volume stocks one at a time based off of the way I sorted them in the Explorer. So this is a very, very cool way to analyze things like, when you have, I'm looking at high volume, I'm looking at rate of change, I'm looking at performance. Open up the top stocks first and scroll through them one at a time, just in the way that you rank them out of the Explorer to better analyze those securities. So that was a huge feature request that people have been asking for, and I love it. It makes such a difference when I'm trying to analyze these groups of stocks and go through them one at a time. So very cool update there. Obviously, new tool icons, everything's easier to get to, improved search box for searching for explorations, and then ability to sort better. Oh, the other thing we added, let me go back to my report here. When you do rank, you can see which column is ranked. So you've got the up-down arrows here in the Explorer telling you which ones are ranked. Okay. Nice updates. Okay, other things in improved features. File Recent shows recent charts and layouts. So if I come in here and go File, go to Recent Files. So this is what we call our MRU, most recently used. You can see that I've got a number of charts that have been opened. I've also got some different layouts that I can select from. Also most recently used is right here. So you can get it from 2 different places. Most recently used, easy to get to. Down arrow on tab charts shows all open tab charts. I've shown you that. Down arrow on main container shows all open and recent layouts. Showed you that. Custom list editor has been updated. So if you're pasting in a list, so if you have a list from another place and you're pasting it in, it now has a paste option button, which it didn't have before. You had to know to do a Control V. So you can actually just click the paste button. It'll paste it right in. The public list editor, all updated. And then with the chart themes, we have the chart themes built in, but we added 2 new chart themes to match the new colors of MetaStock. So you have MetaStock Dark and MetaStock Light that match the different themes within MetaStock. So you can just get to those very, very quickly. Okay. Let's talk about some of the new systems and features included inside of MetaStock 19 because there's been some big updates to these. Volume by price has been a huge request over the years to be able to analyze volume by price. And let's talk about what volume by price is, and then I'll show you how to apply it on your chart. So this is the way it displays on your chart. It has this big kind of blocky view. And what it's doing is it's used to see buying and selling interest at certain prices. Where is volume sitting at certain price? So it shows the volume at specific price levels, negative and positive volume at those price levels, and it's calculated based off of the close to close of the chart. So it's saying, okay, if the previous close is lower, that's one direction, and if it's higher, that's positive. That's how it's calculating it. Okay. When I look at it here, you can see the green is positive volume, and then red, negative volume. Thus, volume by price, because it's looking at the close to close relationship of the chart and then putting that volume into that category. Hopefully that makes sense. And if it doesn't, please ask. I'm happy to stop and talk about any of the questions that you have. Okay. So positive volume will be green, negative volume will be red. And then it puts it into that price area or a price zone. Here we can see we have volume by price. You can set how many zones you want. In this circumstance, I have 12 zones, which is what you see on the chart here. That number of zones is 12. And then after that, it'll break it into your price range. Here, 228 to 241. And then it'll tell you what your positive volume is at that price level, your negative volume is at that price level, and then your total volume. So you can see if that price is more bullish or more bearish, which helps you understand buying and selling pressure in that price zone. Okay. Here is my lowest volume by price. So you can see I don't have as much price action up here. So this is going to be my lowest volume by price area. Here I have a lot of price action. So I'm going to probably have more volume here, which shows here. So you can see this is where I have most of my buying and selling pressure is right at this price point. Okay, now let's go in and let's put it on a chart. The way I do that, I'll click my little arrow here. I'll do volume by, and you can see it just goes right to it. So let's put volume by price on. Now you can put it, when you drag it on, say your price zones, you can use, set your colors. Now here you can say how much data you want it to use. Do you want it to use all the data that's loaded on the chart? Do you just want to do maybe the last year? You can select that. Click OK, and it'll plot right on the chart. So what do we see here? Let's actually bring it over to this side. I just drag and drop it. Right here in what stock are we looking? We're looking at Ford. Okay, so my highest volume by price area is right here in the price of 1038 to 1204. My positive volume is 8.53 billion. My negative volume is 10.74. So here is a much more negative price area than the one right above it, where I have more positive volume in this area. Okay, so you can see up here, when we get up here, we've got more positive buying basically. And here we can see this is our selling zone. So it matches up to that. Okay. You can see our most thinly traded area up here, and then up here we've had a lot of volume in this area. So you can see it's really easy to look at this and kind of use it. Now, how do you use it? How would you use it in your trading? Well, you can use it a couple ways. What if you have, let's say I had a buy signal right here. I don't know if I have a buy signal based off of an indicator. I could put an expert advisor on. Let's say I had the MACD expert on. Well, let's just throw it on here just to see with the MACD. So if I put MACD on, again, easy to search, easy to get there. And we'll let that render up. Okay, I don't have a signal. Okay, if I had a signal, I could use that as a confirmation because I have a lot more positive volume here. Well, maybe that's a confirmation to my trade. Okay, so that's a way to understand it. There's lots of ways that you can use this. So other indicators is confirmation. Uses a target for pricing based off of zone levels. So maybe you're below it, but you're looking for a reversion to the mean, either positive or negative. Standalone to see where the most volume is at a certain price. Add more or less zone levels, use specific look back periods. So if we just said, well, hey, let's look back at the last year. So if we say user defined, go to 250 records. So you'll see this will change quite a bit because now I'm only looking at the last year's worth of data. And let's see how that lines up here. Okay, obviously we're still in the same area because there's been a lot of buying and selling pressure here. Okay, so it's a great indicator. And a lot of people have been asking this for a lot of years. Great indicator. Really recommend you check it out because it is a great confirmation piece to a lot of different systems. Okay, another thing that people have been asking for is range bars. Well, what is a range bar? Well, a range bar is very different than your standard candle or bar. Now you can do range bars or range candles. A range bar is basically we're measuring movement. So rather than price, we're measuring movement and painting a bar on it. You can see here, I can say that I want to paint a bar based off of average to range or specific range or specific number of points. Let's go over to our chart. Let's actually do a clean chart here. So I'm just going to use my custom toolbar, click clean, and it'll paint a clean bar for me here. Okay, let's change this to range bars. So if I double click on this, go to parameters. Oh, sorry, color style over here. So let's go to range bars. And then I want to select parameters. Now what I'm going to do here is I want to say I'm going to do a number of points. So if I do 5 points and click OK, and then zoom back out here, oh, let's see. Oh, okay. Sorry. I know what I did there. That was my bad. Let me go back here and click out of that. And let's open up a template again here. Okay, so let's go back into that. That was my fault. We'll go to range bar. And let's go to parameters again. And we could do either average true range or points. Let's just click OK here for average true range. So what this has done, it's done the average true range of 14, range bar. And what it's going to do is every time it matches ATR, or average true range, we can see here in this dialog box at the very bottom, we have a range size of 0.27. So the average true range of this stock is 0.27 over 14 bars. So every time this moves 0.27 or 27 cents, it'll make a new bar. And it has to move 27 cents to make a new bar. So it may take 3 days to make a bar. You may not have that bar for 3 days, or it may take a week, or you may have a day where it goes up 3 points. Well, then you're going to have a lot of bars in the same day. If I hover over this, you can see this one started on 6/28 and ended on 7/1. So it took that long to create a new bar. Here it took 1 day. Here it took 1 day. Let's maybe do a little more active of a stock to see how it looks. Let's open up NVIDIA again, since that was our top, I believe that was our top volume one, NVDA.O. And we'll do a range bar again on this one. Now you can do range bar or range candles. Let's zoom in a little bit here. So when we do our ranges. Okay, now I double click on it. You can see we have a big bar here. I go to range bar, go to parameters. Let's do points this time. So let's just do one every 2 bars, okay? Every 2 points. So if I click OK. So here we have 7/3 to 7/3, so that was today. Here we have 6/27 to 7/2, so it took that long to move 3 points. And if I hover over these, you can see a lot of these are the same day because this one's a much more active stock. Now, if I were to change it to average true range, click apply. Go OK, and then hover it. Now this stock, so the average range over 14 days of this stock is $5.47. It took from 625 to 73 to make that range. Okay. Now, why would you want to use this as a trader? Well, if you, one, as people who really like to use range bars are typically commodity traders, people who trade on points. They like to see movement of range. It's also very useful in stocks because it kind of takes that price action out of it and makes it so it's very range bound. You can use it as a way to identify how much something is moving, how quickly, and visualize that in the bar. Okay, if I'm looking for a 5-point gain out of NVIDIA, well, how long is it typically going to take? So I know it moves an average of 5.47, and I can look at the bars and I can see how long they're going to take on average. And typically they're very quick because NVIDIA is a fast trading stock. Okay, so it's a great way to really measure that range. So you can see here, every range bar is the same height, so they're always going to be the same height. The distance range between the high and low is the same for every bar. Time doesn't matter. A slow market could take several days, as we talked about, while fast ones, you could have several in the same bar. Range bars only use the close of the underlying data, so that's why and then they'll expand up or down with the price action. Okay. So here's our different examples of ATR versus a set range, and so on. So great way to look at some different charting styles here. Global cursor. Now the global cursor is great if you're analyzing across charts, if you like to match things up. Let's open up some of our layouts here. Let's go back to the E-mini and show you global cursor. Now the cursor is the crossbar, is basically what we're talking about. So if I come up here and go to crosshairs and I drag that on, you'll see on my chart here, on my large chart, I've got crosshairs. Now, as I zoom in here, you'll also see on let me actually bring these charts, make these charts bigger. You'll see that as I move across these different charts, you'll see the crosshairs appear to align exactly where they are on the other charts. So up at the top, I have the daily chart. So it's on the very right-hand side. In the middle here, where I have my cursor, I have a 30-minute chart. Down here, I have an hourly, and over here, I have a 5-minute. Now, as I align those and look at it, they will match the crosshair across all charts. So it can make it easy to identify where you are across those different charts. Very good for multiple time frame analysis, or if you're looking across the same group of stocks. So let's just say I want my Kelly, what do I call it? Multi-Kelly? Nope. That was a different one. I wanted to look at my market ETF one is the one I wanted. But I opened that one. So you can see there's another example. And if I have my crosshairs on, you can see them lining up there. And let's do my broad market, I think is what I call it. Okay. Oh, no, this wasn't it. Oh, yeah, actually, this one is it. Okay, so if I bring this up, bring my cursor up, these are all the same time frame, then you can see the vertical will show up, but the x-axis may not always because we're different price levels when I'm looking at it this way. So this can be a great tool to just kind of, oh, here's where I am in the chart, and you can see it across all your different time frames. You can turn that off in Tools Options. You've got Extend Crosshairs across all charts. Just turn that off. Okay. The other thing that you can turn on when you're in those chart settings is a watermark. Now this has been a big request, and I really like having the watermark. Let's show you the watermark. Let's go to Tools Options again. Go to Chart Options, Display Watermark, click OK. And that will tell you the name of the security that you're looking at as well as the name of the security you're looking at. So this is the ESC1, E-mini, S&P September 24. If I go over here, you can see, okay, I've got the Dow, Spider, QQQ, IWM. So it really gives you a quick view of what you're looking at, both the symbol and the name. That's been a big request. A lot of people looking for that as well. So enjoy that one. I know I do. It helps a lot. Learn as you plot. This one's really, really cool because it lets you just go through. Let's say I'm looking at the Dow here and I go back in time. Let me just scroll this back in time a little bit. Now what I can do on this active chart is if I want to go one bar at a time, I can just hold down Control and arrow, and it will move me one bar at a time. Where this is really helpful, think of this as like a replay feature. So if you have your indicators on a chart and you want to quiz yourself, what would I have done here? How would I have taken this trade? You can set that up, scroll back a time, and just go a bar at a time and practice your trade. Replay it, see how it worked for you. So this is a replay feature that people have asked for as well. So just there you go, Control arrow. And if you want to go backwards, just go the other direction. So forward and back are the ways to do that. Okay. Greater precision on the odds probability cone. We're not going to go into detail on every one of these because there's so many. You can change the font size on the X and Y axis. So if you want your font size bigger down here, you can come in to Style, and you can set your size here for your X and Y axis if you want those bigger. Text editor, improved text editor for easier viewing, editing of text on your chart. Okay, we've got some new drawing tools. Okay, we're not going to spend a ton of time going through every one. I want to show you some of them, how they can help you out. Let's go over, let's make this smaller over here so we can look at some of these. Okay. Right here, now in MetaStock 18, we gave you the ability to measure points and percentage, but it wasn't very evident. People wanted it so they can actually just get right to the tools without having to go in and look through settings. Over here, you'll see that we have a measure tool percent and a measure tool points. Let's just say I click percentage, and I want to see what this move is right here. So I can just drag and drop, and that will show me, let's turn off the cursor here for a moment. So that will show me my percent move and how long it took to make that move. I can go into the settings here, and I can say, it'll always show your performance because that's what it is. It's a performance measure tool, but you can turn off the number of days if you want. If you don't want that, you can set your text sizes in here, save those as defaults. You can set your default color if you wanted a certain color. When this is in here, you can move that text around in and out. So it's all available in there. This other one will measure based off of points. So we'll just do a points example here. If I do that same, just measure, there's the thing. And you can see I've got different font sizes saved on these different ones. So you can set that. Okay, easy enough. I wanted to hit delete. There we go. Okay, so that's the measure tools. Other tools you have that we've added in are Elliott wave tools and Gartley and head and shoulders. Over here, you'll notice this new toolbar right here, where you can, let's say I wanted to draw a head and shoulders. I don't see a head and shoulders pattern on here. This one, it's not real, but we'll just draw it on here. So I can say, well, this is my left shoulder. This is my right shoulder. This is my head. Okay, that was terrible. That was the worst head and shoulders pattern I've ever drawn in my life. Let's draw it down here. So this would be my left shoulder. Let me draw it down, and we can draw our head, and we can draw our right shoulder. And you can put that on your chart, move it around your chart, or typically you'd want to draw it where there is a head and shoulders pattern so you can identify it. You can change the colors, the transparency, all that on this. You've got a Gartley tool. that you can draw the Gartley pattern right there. Again, all movable once you've drawn it. You can do Elliott wave count. So you've got the Elliott wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC, ABCDE, WXY, WXYXZ. All those are available. Let's just draw one here. Again, this is going to be wrong, but we're just going to draw it on a chart to show you. Okay, so I've got A, B, and C. Now, when you draw these patterns, oftentimes there's different wave count. If you're an Elliott wave enthusiast and you follow Elliott wave, you may not want the parentheses. You may want it capitalized. You may want it lowercase. You may want it to show up different. So when you go into the tools, okay, you can set your parameters and your text. So I could say, I want the parentheses, I want the circle, or I want the label only. So that will give you the different wave views that you need when you're labeling them. Okay, so that, let's just say I wanted circle. If I click apply, you can see they changed to circles. If I want label only, see, it just goes to the label. So if you want your Elliott wave methods, those are all right there for you. Now again, I know that was wrong, so don't, just showing you an example there. Okay, here's all our other new drawing tools, the wave counts that we talked about, all the customization. Now we have included a few new trading systems inside MetaStock 19 as well. People always love it when we add new trading systems. It gives a new dimension to MetaStock, the things that people can try and use. Let's talk about a few of them. The first one we're going to talk about is the ETS 2.1. This one was a system that was developed by a gentleman named Michael Mermer. Michael Mermer he was a very highly ranked futures trader. This system won many, many awards across different magazines over the years, and it's a very easy system to use. Okay, so he's got a few indicators in it. The ETS moving average, which is a specialized moving average. He's got his trend watch, long explorations, system tests, and an expert. And really, it's what it does is it just quickly identifies, based off of the trend watch, buy and sell opportunities, and gives them to you on the chart. So you can see it just will highlight buy and sell signals across the chart. It's got a very easy scan for you to run, identify opportunities. And how it kind of decides all this is it uses the trend watch indicator, as I mentioned. It appears green when the market is rising and red when it's declining. And when we say market, we mean the specific stock that you're looking at. Okay, it's in the definition. It measures the true trend as defined by certain slopes and angles. So when you look at the chart, it's actually measuring the slope and the angle of this moving average to help you determine what the direction of it is. If it's not in a bullish direction, it's not going to give you a signal. Okay, so it's great that it uses a confirmation based off of the angles and trends. Okay, when the trend watch changes color, you see the slope of the moving average begin to angle upwards or downwards, as illustrated in the picture I just showed you, and it's the result of many years of research. Now, I love this. The trend is your friend as long as you know what it is. Yeah, and that's I love that statement because it really identifies it. So if I'm looking at this and I say, okay, I've got my trend watch is bullish, well, and my moving average has got the right angle, it's going to give me a buy signal. It's very easy to identify that. So the ETS moving average is used to help measure the trend direction and the angle. And then the ETS trend watch is this indicator down here, which is also indicated by the bullish ribbon. So you've got two indications of the trend watch here. When those align, it gives you a buy signal. It tells you that it's time to get in. It sets a stop for you, which is great. I love systems that provide stops because it helps you protect your profit. It sets a profit target for you. So here we were around 480, and it set a profit target of 439. Actually, excuse me, 539. So this was about its initial profit target. And then its extended profit target was about 611. So right up here in this range. And it is, in this example, still going. Okay. Very easy system to use. You've got system tests with it. You can test it all you want. You can even optimize it if you want. It's got an optimization system in it that you can go through and optimize. I know a lot of people that use MetaStock use the RMO. It's a great system within MetaStock, also designed to help you identify different trends. You've got the primary trend, the midterm trend, and the long-term trend. Now, one of the things that we did when we included this and when we added it in MetaStock 8.19 is we recreated the explorations so they're actually easier to identify. Because one of the challenges was that you had to look for swing trade 2 or swing trade 3. And here what we did is we regrouped them and named them all RMO so they're easier to do. So when you're in the Explorer, just go to Explorer and we'll unselect this. Let's type RMO. You can see all the RMO scans will just come in together so you can identify them. Now, when I hover over them, we've also added tooltips for you to be able to quickly understand what that particular one is looking for. So that was a big update, just kind of make it easier. And then to make it even easier, if you trade the RMO, we've made it easier to identify signals and opportunities. So we've added 5 new RMO templates. You've got RMO shaded, which uses a lot of the new modern features that are available in the charting engine that was added in MetaStock 18. So if I were to come over here, right click, go apply template, go to RMO, and let's go to model shaded. So this is the classic RMO with the new features where it's shaded. It's kind of easier to see a lot of the different indicators. They're clearer and you can kind of get to the information a little more quickly there. So I like this view of the RMO. Other templates he's added, I come back and go to apply template, go to RMO. So you can see this bear pulse, bull and bear pulse, bull pulse, and pro mode. Let's go to the bull pulse. I'll apply that template. And basically what this one is doing is it's just quickly saying a checklist, basically. So I can say, okay, is my RMO bullish, which is this indicator, so I can see it's pulsed up, it's bullish. My RMO blue bar is bullish, boom, boom, and my bar is blue, bang, 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 and I can see my setup right there. So it's just a quick way to really see where your setup is in the RMO. Now, if you're not familiar with the RMO, we're not going to go deep into it today, so I recommend going and watching some of the other videos we have on the RMO. We've got some awesome videos that kind of walk you through the RMO, how it works. But let's just pull up this RMO Pro mode just to show you one other example. So the Pro mode gets you both checklists in one spot for both bullish and bearish and kind of makes it even easier. So I can see here bullish with an arrow, buy opportunity. Okay. Bearish, let's see, red arrow, bearish, sell opportunity. So it's a quick way to identify opportunity. So these pro modes and the pulses just make the RMO even easier than they have been in the past. So there's the model shaded, the bull pulse, the bear pulse that you can see all three things coming together, bear and bull pulse where you can see both of them, and pro mode. So again, blue bar, RMO goes bullish, time to buy. Really easy to identify. We added a gap identification system. A lot of people like to look for gaps and look for gap ups or gap downs. So there's a scan now called Gap Identifier. Just run that scan, it will show you gap ups, it'll show you gap downs, and gap up with volume, which is basically if the moving average of the volume is over its 20-day moving average, that's a gap up with volume. So you've got these different gaps that you can run, and then it's got an explanation of gaps and run you through. So gap identifier. A lot of people like to scan for gaps. Now you can. Now you've got an expert for it as well. Kind of walk you through. Okay. This one we're not going to dive super deep into today. There's another video that Jeff Gibby put out on the Ichimoku system. But what I really like about so the ETS system that was included was a $300 value. The Ichimoku Master that's now included is a $400 value. So there's $700 in add-ons that were included, plus the gap identifier, plus the RMO templates, and more we'll talk about. But if you trade the Ichimoku, this is a great way to help you understand, or if you don't trade it, it's a great way to understand what the system is doing. It's got a whole checklist around what the Ichimoku indicator is doing, explains what it's doing, what it's reading. This is a fantastic system for the Ichimoku indicator, okay? Again, we're not going to dive deep into this one. We could actually do a whole hour class on this particular system. But for now, on this particular one, I just want you to know this is if you trade the Ichimoku, or if you're interested in learning about the Ichimoku, go check out this expert advisor. You can scan on any of the setups that the Ichimoku provides. So you can look for cloud reversals. You can look for future clouds, all kinds of things. So it gives you signals all based off of it that are happening right now. We've also included this system by Jake Bernstein. This is a free template that he's providing. It's called the JBXC. And the JBXC stands for expansion and contraction. So you've got what you've got with this. You've got this indicator down here. Well, first of all, there's two indicators. You've got this indicator set up here, which is what he calls the MAC channel. You've got the Williams AC and the moving average and expansion contraction. So let's talk about what this is really quickly. So the first indicator up here is what Jake Bernstein calls the MAC channel. The MAC channel is simply this. It's the 10-period SMA of the high. So the high of the bar, and then it's a simple moving average of that bar. So 10-period SMA of the high of the bar. And then the lower band is the 8-period SMA of the low. And that's what Jake calls the MAC channel. This is a basis of a lot of what Jake Bernstein does in his trading. If you're not familiar with Jake, you should research him. He is an amazing, amazing trader. Has been teaching people for decades how to better their trades, and has always provided some amazing, excellent systems. And the MAC has always been a big part of that. And here he's actually using the MAC along with the Williams average, the Williams accumulative distributive, Williams ACDC, we'll call it, and the moving average of that indicator. And then expansion and contraction. Well, how is expansion and contraction measured? So here he compares two price points, the high and the low, which is now the MAC channel, the 10-period and the 8-period. So the 10-period of the high, 8-period of the low. And so expansion contraction measures every period chart setting. It's technically considered concurrent, not a lagging indicator. And a second indicator compares two price points, the high and the low, up and down through two longer back moving average channel settings. This ratio provides a condition where two standard deviations equal approximately one standard deviation of a trend. Okay, what does that mean? So basically what happens is you've got expansion and contraction happening based off of what's happening with the MAC channel. So when this is expanding down here, you are in a bullish zone. So you see this bullish expansion, bullish. When you see this bearish contraction, it's bearish. So you can see it flips right when it goes bearish, flips right when it goes bullish. So it's a great indicator to help you measure when things are going bullish and bearish based off of these expansion and contraction models. Very easy to use. It's a template built into MetaStock. Now, if you want a whole expert around this and a whole the ability to scan based off of this and backtest off of this, there is an add-on available. But this template comes built in, included in MetaStock. So let's go through what we've covered. We've covered a lot today. So we've talked about the new and improved charting workflows. We talked about the layout workflows, so two new whole sets of workflows to make your life easier for navigating and getting around MetaStock. We've added theme support, light mode, dark mode. We went through all the container aspects to make it easier to use. Now remember, we talked about things like docking the commentary window, being able to do the flyout mode, the data window, just all the navigation things, the easier indicator finder, all those things, just making life easy. New charting styles, range bars. We also talked about the volume at price, new drawing tools, the measure percent, the Elliott wave tools, all the new trading systems that we went through that were valued over $700. So if you don't have MetaStock 19, it's time to get it. I mean, it's awesome. And if you get MetaStock 19, we'll include what we call Unleash the Power. It's an ebook with a set of videos that you can go through that'll walk you through all the different tools in MetaStock, how to scan, how to backtest, how to forecast, how to use the RMO, how to download and use local data. There's a lot of different things that this covers and walks you through all the basics of MetaStock. Now, if you don't have MetaStock, I encourage you to try it. You can contact our sales team here at 800-882-3040. Call us international 801-506-0900. Metastock.com/sales chat, metastock.com or sales@metastock.com. So we've got two different things. One, if you're new to MetaStock, give us a call. We've got a great 3-for-1 trial that you can try out. You can try MetaStock, see how it works. You can also get great deals on upgrades right now. You can just give us a call. We can talk to you about what version of MetaStock you have, and we're happy to talk to you about what version of MetaStock you have, how you can improve your workflows using it from the version that you have. So give us a call, 800-882-3040, 801-506-0900. Our sales team is awesome. They're happy to talk to you. I appreciate you taking the time with me today, joining me for this presentation on MetaStock 19. There's so much in there. It's so much better. It's so much easier to use. It's such a better workflow. Seriously, if you don't have it, try it out on the 30-day money-back guarantee. The feedback we've been getting from customers is just insane. Everybody's like, this is a game changer. This is what we've been waiting for MetaStock. I could go on and on. So give us a call, 800-882-3040, 801-506-0900, metastock.com/sales chat. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a great weekend and stay safe and keep on trading. Hi, Kelly Clement here from MetaStock. Before you go, I have two quick things for you. One, thanks for joining us today. We love having you here at our webinars and viewing our videos. So what I'd like to invite you to do before you go is like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us a great deal and it helps us bring you more awesome content like today's video. The second thing is we have a great ebook on trading that you can get for free. If you go to metastock.com/YouTube book, you can get a free copy of The Secrets of Successful Traders. It's a great book with lots of content from traders just like yourself who can teach you some of the secrets that they have learned. Thanks for taking a second with me and learning about those two things. Thanks for joining us and keep on trading.